Thank you. Minister, if I can just quickly go back in relation to cancellation of courses in construction industries. The cabinet making course I was referring to was at Lidcombe TAFE, and I'm a little surprised, Ms Reid, you didn't remember that, because I gather this was raised at estimates last time. So, Minister, I thought you would have been aware of that too. And I wonder if you can tell me...
So was that in the past year or
last semester?
Last semester.
And of course, last semester, we know that because intakes were frozen for a raft of trade courses, especially electricians, but courses where students were turned away included carpentry, plumbing and electrical fitting because they were at capacity. How many students that were turned away semester 2 last year have enrolled this year?
Can I say firstly, we don't turn any students away. We find somewhere else, or we give them an avenue to take on the course. So,
Minister, when these reports were put out, so parents and students were reading in the press...
Some of the stuff, particularly on electrotechnology, some of the stuff they were reading in the press was incorrect.
And so on notice, can you provide me with copies of the press releases and interviews that you did to correct that information?
I responded at the time to the one that I saw at the time was the one around electrotechnology.
On notice, can you provide me with what you put out, especially in relation to carpentry and plumbing?
All my press releases are on the Premier's website, so you can have a look at those. But I would have made
Minister,
some
what
other
I'm asking you to do is engage
about
directly with the reports. You saying we find another pathway.
Yeah, I do.
In concrete terms, I turn up and I want to do carpentry, and my local TAFE says, sorry, no place for you at carpentry. What else does that person, what are they directed towards?
They won't say, sorry, no place. They'll say, we will help you to do carpentry. This is how our, if this current class is full...
Talk me through it. What does that look like in practical terms? I will ask Ms Reid to talk you through it, because what we do is we work individually with the person to give them the pathway.
Yeah. So, for example, there might be a related course they can do.
What does a related course to carpentry look like?
There's
the gateway question, isn't it? Because I want to be a carpenter.
Yes.
And what is the related course if carpentry is not available?
Can I just say that, by the way, on the electrical one, at the time that press report
sorry,
came
Minister, we're
out...
talking about carpentry.
At the press, you did mention electrical before. At the time that press report came out, there was 25 campuses with space. So there was opportunities there.
And how many of those were in the New England region of New South Wales, Minister?
There was another one.
Minister, how many of those campuses you talked about were in the New England region of New South Wales?
I think we did provide the list on notice in response.
We did actually go through this last estimate.
Okay, all right. What's the related course to carpentry, Ms Reid?
So we're speaking generally about where someone might turn up.
I'm asking what's the related course to carpentry?
If there is a related course, so they may be coming for a particular level. They may wish to enrol in a more broad construction course. We might also find
first year carpentry unavailable. What does the student do?
We might find a nearby campus where they could do that. We may offer them the opportunity to start doing some of the units that they would then do as part of the full qualification and enrol later in the full qualification. We may also have the opportunity to put on another class depending on where we are in the term.
New classes?
Well,
on notice, can you provide a list of how many new classes last semester and this semester were put on due to demand?
They've certainly got a much better chance of finding a place with 400 more teachers and many more permanent teachers than they did under a previous government. Which is why,
Minister, I'm asking on notice, please put on a list of all the new classes put on last semester and this semester.
I should be clear that we don't offer a number of classes at the beginning of term. So if we're offering carpentry, then a number of students come along, we fill a class. And then another number of students come along, we fill another class. So
how many students do you need to put on a new class?
That varies depending on the subject.
Then on notice, can you please provide a list of how many new classes were put on due to enrolment demands last semester and this semester?
Yeah, what I'm saying, I think, is that additional classes are not quantified like that because we would run a different number of classes for each intake of students depending on how many students there are.
Then on notice, can you provide exactly how you responded to higher than expected enrolments to accommodate students who wish to enrol?
At which TAFE?
At every TAFE in New South Wales, Minister.
if this
Thank you.
helps,
And I'll hand over to my
Miss
colleague,
Miss Carter,
Ms.
if
Merton.
this helps, and Miss Reid, I have had students say to me they've gone into certs like joinery and wood machining, which align in those areas. So I have met some students who've
Thank you.
reported that.
I'll hand over to my colleague now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Minister, if I could raise the issue of the TAFE working from home fraud. Minister, I
Sorry,
note
what?
the TAFE New South Wales Cisco applications are used to monitor teachers' logins. How often are they checked to ensure they're actually working from home and not just going to Westfield, as the teachers say?
Can I start off by saying that I haven't heard of anything which is called the TAFE working from home fraud that you referred to. So I'm not sure where you've got that terminology
It's not an
from.
official title, Minister. It's
No,
a subject. It's a great
it's a
discussion
subjective title
with
that
working
you've just,
from home arrangements.
you've just made up. So are you with your former federal colleagues who think you shouldn't be able to work from home? That went well.
It's an inquiry into the Cisco application.
Can I?
We're
I
happy
will-
with working from home, Minister.
I'll pass over to. Oh, good clarity.
Minister,
The opposition. Thank you. Minister, how many applications were received for the local government apprenticeship program as at 31 December last year?
The local government apprenticeship program is run by Minister Honig's department.
So you've got no
no, so we
oversight
don't
over
have
that?
an involvement in that. We do provide training to a number of them once they're there, but we don't actually go through that process.
So you provide training to a number...
Through TAFE, obviously.
Yeah, no.
So,
I
but
didn't
no, we
think it
don't.
was your
well,
backyard, Minister,
unlike
yes.
the 1,000 government apprenticeships ones, which our department is running, we don't run the local government program.
Right.
So I-
So can you answer, are they able to undertake
we-
training with RTOs?
So
Can we
we,
just I'll just answer a bit on
Just
TAFE
on the
training
local-
and then over to the RTO?
on the local government piece, we we supported more than 360 apprentices and trainees in 2025, and then obviously looking to train more in 2026, but those numbers depend on what those apprentices and trainees want to do and the employer that they're placed
And
with.
with respect to the New South Wales government apprenticeships...
I think the question around the RTOs
Yeah.
is one for Minister Honig.
Yep, sure.
Yeah.
I'll follow up with him.
Yeah.
So New South Wales government apprenticeships, are government employed apprentices permitted to train with private or not-for-profit RTOs?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Who in New South Wales, what's your relationship with the Commonwealth Government? So, for example, naval apprentices, are they Commonwealth somehow, or are they TAFE,
What would that's an interesting one.
or civilian
the-
employees of the,
Yeah.
the
So
ship fitters at
for example,
Garden Island?
but yeah, people. Well, our trainee of the year for a few years ago worked at Garden Island. She did a training with a private RTO, but or might have been with the company. But certainly there is areas of Commonwealth employment where they would be accessing New South Wales training providers or TAFE. I couldn't reel off the top of my head which ones they might be, but you know, if you look more broadly at, say, the energy sector, we're certainly involved in providing training in a large part of that sector as well.
Thank
I
you.
think
And Smart and Skilled, how many providers were audited or monitored in 2025?
I'll ask the department to answer that
Sure.
question. Yeah.
I don't have. I've taken on notice the number of providers that have been audited, but
Yeah.
we're in regular contact with all our providers as part of contract management through
Right.
Smart and Skilled.
And actually, I'll come back to this stuff. Actually, I've got time. Could you also have a look for us how many contracts were suspended or terminated?
I think we do have
Got
that. We
Yeah,
do
we-
have that figure here.
Oh,
Do
do
have
you?
that information.
And do you have figures about student complaints that were received?
Can we
I can tell you the figures for
the
Smart
figure
and
first
Skilled.
for
Yep.
Smart and Skilled
Yep.
on so since 2015 there's been 117 contract terminations, 57 the result of performance monitoring, 28 insolvency, 26 no longer being registered with ASQA, which is the federal authority, and 6 as a result of adverse ASQA decisions. So if you want a sort of a breakdown of the years, I'm sure we could provide that on notice.
Thank you.